Hey everyone, ready for another deep dive? Today we're talking about those gentle giants of the sea, whale sharks.
Whale sharks.
Swimming with them is on pretty everyone's bucket list,
Oh,
right?
for sure. It's such a special experience.
I bet. So we've got a bunch of research and some personal stories here about whale sharks ready to go.
Awesome. Yeah, let's talk about what makes them so fascinating, where to find them, and how to make that encounter really unforgettable.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
All right, so whale sharks. These animals can grow to be over 40 feet long.
Wow, 40 feet.
It's incredible, but most of their diet is just tiny little plankton.
Really?
Yeah, it seems kind of counterintuitive, doesn't it? Something so massive thrives on something so small.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's why they're called filter feeders, but how does that even work? I mean, do they just open their mouths and swim through a cloud of plankton?
It's a little bit more intricate than that. They have these things called gill rakers, kind of like a fine sieve, that filters the plankton from the water. So as they swim, they gulp in huge amounts of water.
Okay.
And those gill rakers trap all the plankton, but let the water pass through.
So they're like giant swimming sieves.
Yeah, pretty much.
Wow, I never realized how complex that feeding mechanism is.
Yeah, it's pretty
It
cool.
makes you really appreciate how they evolved, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And, this filter feeding strategy, it has a big impact on the ecosystem. I mean, they regulate the plankton population, so they're actually helping to maintain the balance of the entire ocean.
Wow, that's a huge responsibility. So they're not just these gentle giants, they're crucial players in the oceans, like delicate web of life.
Exactly. You hit the nail on the head. They're a prime example of how interconnected everything is, in the marine environment.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, I'm officially hooked. So where in the world can we find these incredible creatures?
Well, the good news is they inhabit warm oceans all over the globe.
Okay, perfect. Now we're talking. Any particular hotspots?
Oh, yeah, tons. So Mexico's Isla Holbox and Isla Mujeres, those are known for their seasonal whale shark gatherings. And if you're looking for consistent sightings, the Maldives are a year-round go-to.
Okay, adding those to the travel wish list right now. What about Australia? I've always dreamed of exploring the Great Barrier Reef.
The Great Barrier Reef isn't a primary whale shark destination, but, nearby Ningaloo Reef is actually a world-renowned hotspot.
Oh,
Yeah, it's famous for its crystal clear waters and incredible opportunities to interact with them in the water.
okay, Ningaloo Reef it is.
Hmm.
All right, so let's say I've got my destination locked in. What kind of prep work should I be doing to get ready for this epic swim?
Well, first off, consider your fitness level.
Okay.
Swimming with them can be tiring, especially if you're in the water for an extended period of time.
Yeah, yeah.
So practicing snorkeling in a pool or calm waters beforehand is a really good idea.
Yeah, that's a good point. Wouldn't want to miss out on the full experience just because I'm out of breath. Um, and I'm guessing there's some essential gear we need to pack.
Absolutely. A well-fitting mask and snorkel, those are super crucial.
Got it.
And comfortable fins will make navigating the water a lot easier.
Oh, okay.
And remember, we're talking about tropical waters here.
Right.
So a rash guard or wetsuit for sun protection is a must.
Got it. Protection from the sun and easy movement in the water. Anything else?
Don't forget about the reef. Choosing reef-safe sunscreen is super important.
Okay.
A lot of conventional sunscreens have chemicals that can harm the coral reefs, bleaching them and hindering their growth.
Oh, wow. So we need to be mindful of the products we use even before we get in the water. I never knew sunscreen could be harmful to marine life.
Yeah, it's one of those things that people don't really think about,
Yeah.
but it's really important to make conscious choices that minimize our impact, especially when we're visiting these fragile ecosystems.
Right, right. Yeah, we're guests in their world after all. So reef-safe sunscreen at the top of the packing list. What about the actual encounter? I mean, is there anything we should do to prepare mentally?
That's a great question. Remember, whale sharks are wild animals, so patience and a calm mindset are really important.
Yeah.
We can't predict exactly how they'll behave, and there's no guarantee we'll have an encounter every time we go out.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I can see that getting caught up in the excitement could lead to some unrealistic expectations. So it's more about embracing the experience, whatever it may bring.
Precisely. It's about appreciating the privilege of being in their presence and respecting their natural behaviors.
Okay, I'm trying to picture it. Now we're on a boat heading out to prime whale shark territory.
Yeah, the anticipation is building. Everyone's scanning the water, hoping to catch a glimpse of a shadow or a fin breaking the surface.
And then, boom, a massive whale shark appears right next to the boat. What happens next?
Well, that's where the fun begins. But before we jump into the water, it's really important to listen to the guide's instructions. They'll brief you on safety procedures, proper interaction etiquette, and how to position yourself in the water, for the best view without disturbing the whale sharks.
So it's all about like observing and interacting responsibly. What are some of the key do's and don'ts when it comes to sharing the water with these gentle giants?
One of the most important things to remember is to maintain a respectful distance. Most guidelines recommend staying at least 10 feet away.
That makes sense. We want to give them space to move freely and avoid feeling crowded.
Right, and it's not just about the physical distance, it's about respecting their space and their natural behaviors. Avoid making sudden movements or loud noises that could startle them.
Okay, so no splashing about or trying to get their attention. What about touching? Is that a no-no?
Absolutely. Touching or riding whale sharks is strictly prohibited. I mean, those actions can disrupt their behavior, stress them out, and could even potentially cause harm.
It's amazing how something as simple as a touch can have such a negative impact.
Yeah, think about it. We're visitors in their world.
Right, we're there to observe and appreciate, not to interfere. What about photography? I know everyone wants to capture that epic whale shark selfie, but are there any guidelines around that?
Photography is definitely encouraged, but it's important to do it responsibly. Avoid using flash photography. The sudden burst of light can startle them. And remember, prioritize observing the animals and experiencing the encounter over getting the perfect shot.
It's like putting the camera down every now and then to truly soak in the moment.
Exactly. Sometimes the best memories are the ones we etch into our hearts, not just our camera rolls.
Beautifully said. Okay, so we've covered the importance of respecting their space, avoiding sudden movements, and being mindful of photography. Any other golden rules we should keep in mind?
Well, one thing that's often overlooked is staying aware of your surroundings. Remember, you're swimming in the open ocean, so keep an eye out for other snorkelers, boats, any potential hazards.
That's a good point. It's easy to get so focused on the whale sharks that we forget about everything else going on around us.
Exactly, and that's where a good guide comes in. They'll be keeping an eye on the group, making sure everyone stays safe.
Okay, I'm feeling more prepared already.
Yeah.
What about first-time snorkelers? Any tips for someone who might be feeling a bit nervous about the open water?
It's completely normal to feel apprehensive, especially if it's your first time snorkeling in the open ocean. The key is to stay calm, breathe steadily through your snorkel, and relax. The more relaxed you are, the more you'll enjoy the experience.
Easier said than done when you're face to fin with a creature that's bigger than a bus.
I hear ya. But trust me, once you see how gracefully these gentle giants move through the water, any fear you had will just melt away.
Okay, I'm choosing to believe you. So
Yeah.
stay calm, breathe deeply, and try to relax. Any other practical tips for first-timers?
Another thing that can help is practicing in a pool or calm waters beforehand. Get comfortable with your mask and snorkel. Practice clearing your snorkel if water gets in, and just get a feel for moving around in the water.
It's all about building confidence and familiarity before heading out to the open ocean.
Exactly. And remember, your guide will be there to help you every step of the way. They'll make sure you're comfortable and safe throughout the whole experience.
All right, I'm feeling ready to take the plunge. I'm really curious about the emotional side of these encounters. I can imagine it's pretty powerful.
It is. It is. For many people, it's a life-changing experience that shifts their perspective, on the natural world and their place in it.
I can see that there's something about encountering such a magnificent creature in its natural habitat that must just evoke a sense of awe and wonder.
For sure, it's humbling, being in the presence of something so massive, so ancient, and just so gracefully adapted to its environment.
It must make you feel pretty small in comparison.
Yeah, but in a good way, though. It reminds us that we're just one part of this vast, interconnected web of life.
I bet it sparks a sense of connection to the ocean and all its inhabitants.
It often does. Yeah, people come away with this renewed appreciation for how fragile the marine ecosystems are and a desire to protect them.
So it's not just about ticking a box on your bucket list.
No, not at all.
It's about fostering a deeper understanding of our relationship with the ocean and the creatures that call it home.
Exactly. It's about recognizing, that we have a responsibility to be stewards of the environment and to make choices that, ensure the well-being of future generations.
Speaking of responsible choices, let's circle back to the idea of choosing tour operators that prioritize sustainability and ethical practices. Why is that so important?
It's crucial because the growing popularity of whale shark tourism, if it's not managed responsibly, it has the potential to have a really negative impact on these animals.
So it's about ensuring that tourism benefits both the local communities and the whale sharks themselves.
Yeah, exactly. By supporting operators who adhere to strict guidelines, limit group sizes, and educate their guests about responsible interaction, we can help minimize the impact of tourism and contribute to the long-term well-being of these incredible creatures.
That makes a lot of sense. It's about striking that balance between, enjoying these encounters and ensuring their sustainability.
Absolutely. And it's not just about tour operators either.
Right.
We as individuals also have a responsibility to make conscious choices that minimize our impact on the environment.
Yeah, what kind of choices are we talking about?
Well, something as simple as using reef-safe sunscreen can make a huge difference.
Right.
As we mentioned earlier, many conventional sunscreens have chemicals that can be really harmful to coral reefs, which are essential habitats for a wide variety of marine life, including whale sharks.
So even our seemingly small actions can have ripple effects throughout the ecosystem.
Exactly. And another important step is to reduce our consumption of single-use plastics. They often end up polluting the ocean and harming marine animals.
Yeah, it's about being mindful of our choices and recognizing that even small changes in our daily lives can contribute to a healthier planet.
Absolutely. And remember, knowledge is power. The more we learn about the challenges facing our oceans, the more empowered we are to make a difference.
That's a great reminder. It's not just about experiencing the beauty of the ocean. It's about understanding the responsibility that comes with it.
Well said. It's about becoming advocates for the ocean and all its inhabitants.
Speaking of advocates, what advice would you give to someone who's feeling inspired to get more involved in marine conservation after a whale shark encounter?
I would say, first and foremost, follow that passion. There are so many amazing organizations doing incredible work to protect our oceans. Do some research. Find an organization that resonates with your values and see how you can contribute.
So it's about finding an organization that aligns with your interests and channeling that inspiration into action.
Exactly. And it doesn't have to be a grand gesture. Every little bit helps, whether it's donating to a conservation organization, volunteering your time, or simply spreading awareness about the importance of ocean conservation.
It's about finding your own way to make a difference no matter how big or small.
Precisely. And remember, the ocean connects us all. What we do in our own communities can have a ripple effect across the globe.
Now that's a powerful thought. So let's wrap things up by talking about those lasting impressions. What kind of impact do these whale shark encounters have on people long after they've returned home?
Well, for many, it's a transformative experience that sticks with them forever. They often describe a sense of renewed wonder and a deeper appreciation for nature.
I can imagine those memories staying so vivid for a lifetime.
Absolutely. And it's often more than just memories. These encounters can inspire a lifelong passion for ocean conservation, leading people to change their habits, get involved in activism, or even pursue careers in marine biology.
It's like that one encounter opens up a whole new world of possibilities and purpose.
It's amazing to witness how these experiences can spark such profound shifts in people's perspectives and priorities.
So what's the key takeaway here? What do you hope our listeners will remember most from this deep dive into the world of whale sharks?
I hope they'll remember that these gentle giants they're more than just these awe-inspiring creatures. They're vital members of the ocean ecosystem, and they need our help to thrive. And I hope they'll feel empowered to make a difference, whether it's through responsible tourism, supporting conservation efforts, or simply spreading awareness about the importance of protecting our oceans.
Okay, so we've talked about the awe-inspiring nature of these gentle giants, the importance of responsible interactions and conservation efforts. But let's shift gears for a moment and talk about the actual experience of swimming with whale sharks.
Yeah, it's one thing to talk about it, but to actually be in the water with these magnificent creatures.
Totally. So for someone who's never done this, what can they expect? Paint us a picture what that first encounter is like.
All right, so picture this. You're on a boat, scanning the horizon, and suddenly your guide yells, "Whale shark spotted!" Your heart starts pounding, you slip on your mask and fins, and you're getting ready to enter the water.
I can feel the adrenaline pumping already.
And then you see it, this massive shadow gliding just beneath the surface. I mean, the sheer size of it is just breathtaking. And as you get closer, you start to notice these intricate patterns on their skin, those white spots that give them their name.
Whoa. I'm getting chills just thinking about it. It must be so surreal to be swimming alongside something that massive, but so graceful.
It really is. There's a sense of peace and tranquility that just washes over you as you watch them, move so effortlessly through the water.
I bet it makes you feel incredibly connected to the ocean and all its wonders.
Absolutely. It's a reminder that we're part of something much bigger than ourselves and that there's still so much beauty and mystery out there to explore.
So let's say our listener is now inspired to have their own whale shark encounter. What what practical advice would you give them for planning this adventure?
I think the first thing is do your research. There are so many amazing places around the world where you can swim with whale sharks.
Yeah.
So explore your options and find a location that really aligns with your interests and your travel style.
Okay, so you've got your destination. What's next?
Look for reputable tour operators in that area.
Ah,
They should be committed to sustainable practices, they should have experienced guides, and of course, adhere to local regulations.
and how can we, as potential tourists, ensure we're choosing an ethical operator?
Ask questions. Don't be afraid to inquire about their group sizes, their interaction guidelines, and how committed they are to conservation. A responsible operator will be transparent and happy to share that information.
So it's about doing our homework and making informed choices.
Yeah, exactly. And remember, the whale shark encounter is just one part of the journey. Embrace the whole experience, immerse yourself in the local culture, appreciate the beauty of the environment.
Okay, so we've covered the planning, the encounter,
Yeah.
but what about the aftermath? How do these experiences change people?
For a lot of people, it's a real catalyst for personal growth and a deeper connection to nature. They go home with a renewed sense of purpose and a commitment to make a difference.
I can see that happening. It's like the encounter opens your eyes to a whole new perspective.
Exactly. And that's the beauty of it. It's not just about swimming with whale sharks. It's about expanding our understanding of ourselves and our place in the natural world.
And hopefully inspiring us to protect it for generations to come.
Absolutely. It's about recognizing that we all have a role to play in ensuring the health and well-being of our oceans.
Well said. It's been an awesome journey exploring the world of whale sharks with you today.
It was my pleasure.
And to our listener out there, we hope this deep dive has sparked your curiosity and inspired you to embark on your own whale shark adventure. Remember, these gentle giants are out there waiting to be discovered, and the ocean is calling.
So go explore, learn, and experience the magic for yourself.
Thank you for listening to the Kraken Aquatics podcast. We'll see you in the next episode.